Hello, word nerds. Welcome to the dictionary, hosted by me, Spencer. My shirt, it's getting cut off at a weird spot. I should lift it up so you can see the whole thing. Ooh, cool. Okay, let's get into the words. The first word in this episode is ghostly. Ghostly, ghost with an ly, adjective from before the 12th century. Number one, of or relating to the soul. The synonym is spiritual. And this is not a way that I use this word. I'm not using the word ghostly to describe my spiritual side, my ghostly side, although it sounds pretty cool. Actually, you know what? Maybe that's a good idea. I think I should start doing that. Are you religious or ghostly? I'm ghostly. Now we got number two, of relating to or having the characteristics of a ghost. The synonym is spectral. And this is more how I think we're typically using this word ghostly. I feel like, is there something? I think my microphone is a little bit low. Let's bring it up a little bit. Ooh, that's better. Get the mouth right up there, close to the microphone. Anything else for ghostly? Ghostliness is a noun, and ghostly is also an adverb, which makes sense because of the good old ly at the end. Ghostliness. Ooh, look at that ghost. They got ghostliness because they're spiritual. Let's see. Well, now, of course, I expect that people have sent in some ghost stories. I did put a post up yesterday. I should do some more to see if maybe people can send me some ghost stories. I would like to put them into this episode for you. I think that would be fun. Here, I didn't do my sound effect. Fee, fi, fo, fum. You could probably guess why. Yes, here is ghost story. 2 words, noun from 1819. Number one, a story about ghosts. I think a lot of those are maybe told around a bonfire, maybe when you're toasting your wieners and your marshmallows to make some s'mores. Maybe some people are telling some ghost stories. Ooh, and there was a hook on the door handle. But also number 2, a tale based on imagination rather than fact. Just a good old tall tale ghost story when we made it up and it's not true at all. And of course, the number one definition, a story about ghosts, usually those are fictional stories to scare you. There's books, ghost story books, and movies. But my favorites are the ghost stories that are true, that people have actually experienced. That's what I want to know more about. Okay, moving on to Fee Fi Fo Fum. Next is Ghost Town, 2 words, noun from 1931. A once flourishing town, wholly or nearly deserted, usually as a result of the exhaustion of some natural resource. They used to have a natural resource, and then they lost that, and then the people left, and they were like, we can't really we're a ghost town now. We got very few people, and maybe there's some ghosts around. You typically think of this as like the Old West. Think of those ghost towns. But the natural resource thing is what is confusing to me because, I don't know. I'm no expert on ghost towns. That is a truth. That is a truth right there. I think sometimes ghost towns become ghost towns maybe when the highway system was built, all the little towns on Route 66, they kind of became ghost towns. Or just closed up shop entirely, because when the highway systems were built, everybody was wanting to go down there instead and not go visit the tiny little towns. So I think we need to bring that back. We need to turn these ghost towns into most towns. And so that wouldn't be a natural resource. I mean, would you consider tourism a natural resource? I don't know. I don't know how natural that is. But anyway, ghost towns. I guess they're kind of fun to visit, but also like these are their lives. Uh, they should have good flourishingness. They need to flourish again. Okay, moving on to fee fi fo fum. Ghost word, 2 words. Noun from 1886. It is a word form never in established usage. Never in established usage. I think I need examples. Let's look up example of ghost word. Don't know if I have heard of this before. A word that is not actually used but is recorded in a dictionary or other reference work. But why would it be recorded if it's not used? Is there a reason they're not being used? Okay, so this says a ghost word is a word published in a dictionary or similar authoritative reference work, even though it had not previously had any meaning or been used intentionally. A ghost word generally originates from readers interpreting a typographical or linguistic error as a word they are not familiar with, and then publishing that word elsewhere under the misconception that it is an established part of the language. So, let's see. I want examples. There's this whole quote about the word kime, Kime. This guy says, I can deduce that at least 2 that are somewhat startling. The first is kime, Kime. The original appeared in the Edinburgh Review for 1808. The Hindus, with 2 O's, have some very savage customs. Some swing on hooks. Some run chimes through their hands. So that's where that word came from. And it turned out that chimes was a misprint for knives. But the word gained currency for some time. So that's one example. So, hey, so because it's recorded in something, then it gets into the dictionary or other similar things. And what do you think I'm doing flipping all these pages? I'm going to see if Kime is in here. No, Kime is not in here. Well, it was pretty old, so maybe. But here, there's this guy exhibited about 100 more specimens of ghost words that he had collected. Interesting. Okay, well, I think we went down that rabbit hole just enough to learn about what are these and why are they. Cool. So, I don't know. I guess it's possible that we could come across some ghost words in this dictionary, but will we even know? I mean, what would the definition even be? It'd be like, this is a false word. People thought it was this, but it was really this. Sure. Interesting. Fee fi fo fum. Now we have ghost write, 1-word verb from 1927, starting with intransitive. To write for and in the name of another. We talked about this briefly in the previous episode for the word ghost. You are writing. If you have any experience ghost writing, can you send me an email, a voicemail, whatever, and tell me about your experience ghost writing and like why were you just hired to do this thing? Do you like not being known as a ghost writer? There's lots of questions. How does it make you feel? Transitive. To write as a speech for another who is the presumed author. I think presidents do this all the time. They probably, largely, mostly, usually have their speeches written by other people. I mean, we know that there are literally speech writers for presidents and other people, and maybe the person has a say in what is put in the speech. Maybe they give them a start. Maybe they do some editing. Probably depends on the person who is giving the speech. We know that Obama, I think I have heard that he was very involved in the speech writing process, either before or after it was written. But other people I'm not so sure of. Not so sure how much people like Drumpf are involved in their speech writing. Anyway, speech writer, that is a noun. Yeah, it's just back formation of ghost writer, blah, 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 blah. Now let's move on to, this should be a interesting word. Fee-fi-fo-fum. It's the word ghoul, Ghoul. Noun from 1786. Number 1, a legendary evil being that robs graves and feeds on corpses. They were legendary. The legend that the ghouls are legendary. They have such amazing adventures. I feel like there are many examples of ghouls in lots of things. Just searching the word ghoul is not helpful. So one version of ghoul is one that is robbing graves and feeding on corpses. What a life! What a life that is to live. The life of a ghoul. That's how they are sustained. That's where they get their food, on corpses. And where do you get corpses? Graves. They should just go to morgues. Can they get the same sustenance from living beings? Do they have to be corpses? What is it about corpses that make ghouls that are good nutrition for ghouls? Okay. Number 2, one suggestive of a ghoul, especially one who shows morbid interest in things considered shocking or repulsive. So, dictionary, are you saying that people who like morbid things are ghouls? Suggestive of a ghoul, one who shows morbid interest in things considered shocking or repulsive. Huh. Would I be a ghoul because I find those things interesting and fascinating? I guess I would be a ghoul. Okay. Am I suggestive of a ghoul? Am I robbing graves and feeding on the husks of past living people? No, I don't think I am that kind of ghoul. Not that I'm aware of. I don't think so. Interesting. Ghoulish is an adjective. Ghoulishly is an adverb. And ghoulishness is a noun. Ghoul. And I think that there's lots of types of things, people, creatures, whatever, that are described as ghouls. And it's a wishy-washy kind of creature, I think. I think we have a better idea of other mythological creatures, but ghouls, I think, are a little bit weird. This says, in folklore, a ghoul is a demon-like being or monstrous humanoid, often associated with graveyards and the consumption of human flesh. The concept of the ghoul originated in pre-Islamic Arabian religion. Modern fiction often uses the term to label a specific kind of monster. And they brought up the history, so we got to look at the etymology. It just says it's from the Arabic word ghoul, spelled Ghul, and that's it. It's the Arabic word for ghoul. Ghoul. Now, moving on to fee-fi-fo-fum. The next word is ghoulie. We just added an IE at the end. It is a noun from 1928, and the synonym is the number 1 definition for the word ghoul, which is the word looks and sounds funny to me now. But I want to look up, aren't there movies with the word ghoul? Let's see, there's one just called Ghoul, there's another one called Tokyo Ghoul, another one called Ghoul, another one called Tokyo Ghoul Re, another one called Ghoul, and The Ghoul. Maybe this is more American, maybe more of us will understand this or be aware of it. It's from 1975, and it stars Peter Cushing, who I think was in Star Wars. Also John Hurt. Anybody else I recognize in this list? No, I don't think so. An ex-priest keeps his cannibalistic son locked in his attic after the young man's exposure to savage practices in India. Ooh, this sounds racist. The father worries his son might break free during an auto race at his English estate. And you know what? I bet he does. Interesting. Okay, so yes, not great history with that, but I guess the cannibalistic son is the ghoul. All right, moving on to... Wait, and is there ghoulies? Or am I thinking of something else? There's... Oh, crap, I lost my letters. Oh, crap, I deleted the letter I wanted. Oh, crap. Ghoul, let's type in I-E-S. Ghoul, yes, of course. I was second guessing myself. There's so many ghoulies movies, and I don't know if I've seen a single one of them. If anything, I saw the first one. Ghoulies from 1984. Ghoulies 2 from 1987. Ghoulies Go to College from 1990. Ghoulies 4 from 1994. Okay, and I don't know if this is just not showing... Oh, there's a documentary, Ghoulies, From Toilets to Terror, The Making of Ghoulies from 2015. Another one called Ghoulies Unflushed from 2020. Grabbed by the Ghoulies from 2025. I don't even know if all of those are all canon. But I want to look at now the original Ghoulies and go to the connections page to get the proper information. Here we go, connections. I think I need to do a Ghoulies marathon. Okay, so officially there's just 4. But yes, there's more. Oh, Ghoulies, come on. Oh, looks so silly. All right, moving on to Fee-Fi-Fo-Fum. We now have GHQ, all caps, abbreviation for General Headquarters. Fee-Fi-Fo-Fum. GHZ. The Z is lowercase. It's an abbreviation for gigahertz. That's a lot of hertz right there. Is there also megahertz? Would that be even more than gigahertz? Which one's bigger? Ooh, okay, that was our last GH word. You can't go farther than Z in the alphabet, GHZ. So now we got to move on to a whole new big section. Fee-fi-fo-fum. It's... well, you don't say this word. It's G-I. It's an abbreviation for gill. Like a fish gill? Maybe there's other gills, probably. And now we got a bunch of GI words. Fee-fi-fo-fum. GI, all caps. First form, you literally say GI. Adjective from circa 1935. Number 1. Provided by an official U.S. military supply department, as in GI shoes. And we are going to look at the etymology shortly to be like, why? GI shoes, what is that all about? It's from the U.S. military supply department? What are GI shoes? I don't have GI shoes. I did not go be a part of the military. Number 2. Of, relating to, or characteristic of U.S. military personnel. You can see a pattern if you don't know what this word is. Number 3, conforming to military regulations or customs, as in a GI haircut. Oh, that's probably when everything is cut real short, maybe completely buzzed, maybe you got a little shape to it on top, but the sides and the back are also very, very, very short. Is it because you don't want to have long hair in the military? They won't let you in if you don't want to cut your hair, because it could get caught on something. I mean, there's practicality, I guess. This word, I do not have a GI haircut. I used to, but not on purpose, but I don't now. Okay, so this word, interesting. Now, there's some information here. It says it is the G from the word galvanized and the I from the word iron, which is from the abbreviation used in listing such articles as garbage cans, but taken as abbreviation for government issue. G from government, I from issue. Now, the description of that was not great. I am going to go to this etymology website and look up GI because I feel like maybe it will give a little bit more information. Because the government issue one makes sense. Galvanized iron? I mean, okay, maybe a garbage can was considered a GI garbage can because it was made from galvanized iron, but I don't know. Also, 1936 as an adjective meaning U.S. Army equipment, American English, apparently an abbreviation of government issue and applied to anything associated with servicemen. Transferred noun sense of U.S. Army soldier arose during World War II, apparently from the jocular blah, 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 blah. Here we go. An earlier GI, 1908, was an abbreviation of galvanized iron, especially in GI can, garbage can, I guess, a type of metal trash can. The term was picked up by U.S. soldiers in World War I as slang for a similar-looking type of German artillery shells, but it is highly unlikely that this GI came to mean soldier. No two sources seem to agree on the entire etymology, but none backs the widespread notion that it stands for general infantry, as in G.I. Joe, which is any U.S. soldier that is attested from 1942. Whoa, okay, so we've got more information here. None backs the widespread notion that it stands for general infantry. So is G.I. Joe false? Unless the Joes were government issue, or were the Joes galvanized iron? Okay, well, at least we got some more information about this whole garbage can thing, the galvanized iron, but then we added in additional information about general infantry. So is that there's okay, you know what, if you want to dig deeper and tell me some stuff, then that would be fine. But boy, the plot thickens. Well, you know what, we got more GI words, so maybe we'll get a little bit more stuff going on here. Fee fi fo fum. GI second form, noun from 1943, a member or former member of the U.S. Armed Forces, especially a man enlisted in the Army. So is the etymology, what GI means, dependent on what you're talking about? The adjective GI is talking about, your GI shoes, your GI haircut, your government issue haircut. Hopefully you don't have galvanized iron haircut. But when it's a noun, you're talking about the GI, so does that mean general infantry person? Okay. Fee fi fo fum. GI third form, adverb from 1949. In a strictly regulation manner. So this does not literally have to do with the military. If you are doing something in a regulation manner, then you are doing it GI, because we're stealing that from the military with the GI Joes and the GI shoes and the GI haircuts and the GI blues. I got the GI blues. I woke up this morning and I fought some people. I went back to bed and I had some nightmares. I got the GI blues. Fee fi fo fum. The fourth form of GI. This one is a transitive verb. So it's a verb, GI. So you could say GI'd, like the past tense of doing the GI action, and that would be spelled GI apostrophe D. And then GIing, GI apostrophe ING. Oh, look at me, I'm GIing. Okay, sorry, I don't even know what it is, and I'm chuckling at it. Maybe it's bad. It's from 1951, a transitive verb from 1951. To clean thoroughly, as floors, in preparation for, or as if for, a military inspection. So maybe, when the generals come in, or the sergeants, or whoever the people are who are yelling at their soldiers, they come in, and because you gotta have GI'd your beds real good. But it's not literally for military inspection. If it's like, oh, it's almost as if it's military inspection. Like if you have a very strict parent or guardian who wants your place to be so clean and they make you go GI your room, that's as if it were a military inspection. So yeah, I don't know if people are using this term, the verb of GI so much, but we know people who like to be very clean, and so they are GIing when they clean. Thorough cleanliness. Hey, let's move on to fee-fi-fo-fum, the fifth form of GI. It's an abbreviation for, number 1, galvanized iron. You knew that. Number 2, gastrointestinal. We haven't talked about that at all. Maybe we'll see some GI gastrointestinal words later. Number 3, general issue or government issue. Either one is fine, very similar. And that's it for the abbreviations for the fifth form of GI. Come back next time to hear me talk about more words. Like, hey, now let's get into a whole new section. Fee-fi-fo-fum. It's the word giant. First form, and we even have some more giant words in the next episode, which is very exciting. Okay, giant. Noun from the 14th century. If we used it a hard G instead of a J sound, it would be giant. This is why English is hard for people. How do you know? Is it a G or is it a J? Okay, so number 1 for giant is a legendary human-like being of great stature and strength. Just big. A giant is big. That's what it is. Number 2. 2A. A living being of great size. So this is not the legendary giant, the one that is probably bigger than maybe humans can even reach. This is an actual person, a living person who is a giant. Well, there are some giants that I'm aware of right off the top of my head. The number 1 would be Robert Wadlow, who was the tallest man ever, which is shocking that nobody has surpassed him. But he was almost 9 feet tall. I'm not sure if anybody has even reached 8 feet tall in the world. Maybe a couple. Tallest people ever. Let's look that up. Yeah, he was by far the tallest person ever. Here we go. Ooh, actually, some people have gotten close. Did not know this. So even before Robert Wadlow, there was John Rogan, who reached 8 feet 9. He died in 1905. Then there was John Carroll, who was 8 feet 8 inches. By the way, 264 centimeters. I should give for the rest of the world people. Robert Wadlow was 272 centimeters. John Carroll died in 1969, and they were also young. There's a whole group of people whose heights were disputed. There's 8'7", 8'6", 8'6", 8'6", 8'5", 8'5". All of these people, they all died, which is terrible. Different, mostly from other countries. So yes, a number of people have reached 8 feet, quite a few, in fact, and I was not really aware of this. And some of them are still alive. But nobody has quite reached 9 feet. I think he was 8 feet 11 and 1/10 or something like that. Anyway, also, Andre the Giant. I mean, that's literally in his name. I'm sure that his birth certificate said Andre the Giant. Anybody else? I mean, yeah, there's a lot of basketball players who are crazy tall. The problem with these actual living giants is that they often have very hard times just moving around, getting around. They have to walk with walkers or canes, sit down a lot, and there's a lot of problems involved with that, and it's very sad. It's amazing for us other people to see them, but I think that they have a very hard life, and a lot of these people have died at very young ages. I mean, Robert Wadlow was 22 years old. 22. Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. Okay. Moving on to, do we have, giant is down here. We have more definitions. To be a person of extraordinary powers. Like the power to move you with their music. A giant in music, maybe. Number 3. Something unusually large or powerful. Oh, I was wondering if the lights would go out. That one is, and that one's about to go out too. I was like, I think maybe I got one more in. I don't know. Something unusually large or powerful is a giant. Giant-like is an adjective. So this word, well, doesn't really give a much information. It's really just from Greek. So I guess maybe there's Latin gigas. Maybe that's where we get the giga prefix for lots of things. So yeah, it just says it's from Greek. Greek people, tell me about your word for giant. Fee-fi-fo-fum. The second form of giant is an adjective from the 15th century, having extremely large size, proportion, or power. So you are describing something as a giant this, a giant that, a giant who, a giant what, a giant hat. And now, using that adjective word, typically just to describe something with large size, we are now getting into the section of giant nouns. Fee-fi-fo-fum. We have giant anteater. And I think all of these, or most of these, will need posts on social media. Noun from 1940. A large bushy-tailed anteater of Central and South America. I always love a giant or a tiny version of a thing. A mini this, a giant that. The species name for the giant anteater is Myrmecophaga tridactyla. Tridactyla. That makes me think does it have 3 fingers on its hands or its feet? So that makes me think that there's a regular anteater, which would make sense. Regular anteater over here, giant anteater over here, and maybe others. Fee-fi-fo-fum. Giant cactus. Noun from circa 1884. The synonym is saguaro. S-A-G-U-A-R-O. Saguaro. That seems like maybe a Spanish word. Yep, sorry. You don't get to know anything about what a giant cactus is. You have no frame of reference of possibly what a giant cactus could be until you look up the word saguaro. What even is it? I can't even comprehend what a giant cactus could possibly be. Is it a bat? Fee-fi-fo-fum. Giant clam. Noun from circa 1889. A very large very large clam, found on the coral reefs of the Indian and Pacific Oceans that sometimes weighs more than what? What? More than 500 pounds? Which is 227 kilograms. Whoa. The species name is Tridacna gigas. Gigas? That was that Latin word for giant. Okay, I need to look up giant clam right now. If I don't do this we have problems. 500 pounds. I mean, I know that I have heard of these before, but I needed to be reminded of the 500 pounds. Jeez. Yeah. They're kind of beautiful too. Some of these have these like colors and blues and stuff, and really awesome. And they're where they open. It's very wavy. They got big waves for their mouth. Giant clams. Okay, awesome. Very cool. Huge. Okay, moving on to Fee, fi, fo, fum. Next is giantess. I think you know where this is going. This is a noun from the 14th century, and it is a female giant because for some reason we need to add female suffixes to words to designate that they are female. I think we need a giantrix. Okay, next we have. Oh, see, this is a little bit different. This one is moving us away slightly. Fee fi fo fum. It's giantism. Okay. Noun from 1639. Number 1, the quality or state of being a giant, as in giantism in industry. And I don't know this word. I am not aware of this definition at all. But then we have number 2, gigantism. The second form of the word gigantism, that is our synonym. And so we're not going to get to that for, let's see, just a handful, just a few episodes. I think it's pronounced gigantism, gigantism. And really, this is just the condition of something that becomes a giant. They have gigantism. It's making them grow. It could be, I think, what's not the thyroid, what's that thing in the brain that's called the. Oh, it's in my brain somewhere. I can't come up with it, but it's sometimes if that's gone a little wrong, then it's like maybe sending too many hormones, or I don't know what's going on, and the body's like, hey, I'm gonna grow big now. I got gigantism, also called giantism. Fee fi fo fum. Next is giant panda. Noun from 1920. The synonym is the number 2 definition for the word panda. I hope that you can imagine a giant panda. Giant panda. All right, let's do one more for this episode. Fee fi fo fum. Fee fi fo fum. It's giant reed. R-E-E-D. Noun from 1851. A tall perennial grass native to Mediterranean regions that has woody stems used especially in making baskets, shelters, and reeds for woodwind instruments. The species name of this grass is Arundo donax. So I guess some reeds are regular and these reeds are big. Let's pick a word of the episode. Should we do that? Would you be so kind as to join in with me if you have an opinion on what your favorite word was? You let me know. You let me know. Today we had ghostly, ghost story, ghost town, ghost word, ghost right, ghoul, ghoulie, GHQ, GHZ, GI, 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 giant, giant, giant anteater, giant cactus, giant clam, giantess, giantism, giant panda, and giant reed. Ooh, which one are we gonna pick? Which one are we gonna pick? Ooh, ooh. I don't know. I'll pick ghoulie as the word of the episode. Look at all those ghoulies running around. They're really scary, eating dead bodies. Ghoulie, 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 ghoulie. That was fantastic. I wish that I had. I wish that one of the movies I could tell you about was the movie Ghoulies, but I haven't seen it. Instead, I shall tell you about different ones. The next movie I saw on this list was. I did it. I saw it. KPop Demon Hunters. It's fun. It's I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't have the basis. I think it might be based on other things, and I have no knowledge of any of that. And I figured, well, it's nominated, I think, at least for the Golden Globes. I think it's nominated for Oscars as well for Best Animated Film, and I think it was on Netflix, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll watch it. And it's very fun and silly. And then on the total opposite side of the spectrum, I watched Hamnet, and that is a fantastic, amazing, great film. Great acting, and you should absolutely watch it if you haven't seen it. Hamnet. And I don't even want to say anything about it other than it's very good. It takes place in the, I don't know, 14 or 1500s, something like that. All right, that's all you're getting from me today. I can't believe that light's still on. This has been Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye.